which is a good thing. But I can't stress enough, this is going to be catastrophic storm surge, life-threatening storm surge. So I would like to turn it over to Department of Health Director Danielle Taylor to talk about some emergency protective measures for Health and Human Services. Danielle?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Danielle Taylor, D-A-N-I-E-L-L-E-T-A-Y-L-O-R. I am the Health Officer for Florida Department of Health in Hernando County. I wanted to go over some public health messaging for everyone. We would like for everyone to prepare your emergency water supply. Store at least 1 gallon of water per day for each person and pet for cooking and drinking. Store at least 3 days. If you're using store-bought water, that's wonderful. If you have containers that you're using, make sure that they are sanitized appropriately before you fill them with water. Some environmental health topics that we'd like to cover. Set your freezer at 0 degrees or below. Set your refrigerator at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Freeze some containers of water for ice to help keep your food cold. Keep your refrigerator and freezer doors closed as much as possible to maintain that cold temperature. Keep food safely cold for 4 hours at least. Try not to open your freezers or your refrigerators. When in doubt, throw it out. Some carbon monoxide poisoning topics. Carbon monoxide is odorless, colorless, and it can cause sudden illness and death if inhaled. Never use a generator, pressure washer, or any gasoline-powered engine inside your home, basement, or garage, or less than 20 feet from any window, or door, or vent. Never use a charcoal grill, hibachi, lantern, or portable camping stove inside a home, tent, or camper. Some floodwater safety. Do not play in it. Do not drive through it. We don't know what's in the water. We don't know if it is a hard, sharp material that could cause an injury. It could have some bacteria. Floodwater and standing water can be dangerous. Hand washing. Hand washing, hand washing, hand washing. Wash your hands, soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Scrub with soap and water. Medication. Have enough of your prescriptions on hand to get us through at least the next week. Understand that there's a state of emergency and you are permitted a 30-day emergency prescription from your pharmacy. If you haven't gotten that by now, please keep that in mind for future storms. Special needs sheltering. The time to shelter is now. Pre-register if you can at specialneeds.hernandocounty.us. If you have not been able to do that, when you come to the shelter, we can register you there. So who needs to come to the shelter? People that need refrigerated services for their medication. If you need electricity for life support medical equipment. For basic nursing supervision. And for anybody that is on oxygen, we encourage you to come to the shelter. A few more things about special needs sheltering. The shelter provides a safe space for rest and sleep, as well as meals. We're located at West Hernando Middle School, 14325 Ken Austin Parkway in Brooksville. If you need transportation, please call 352-754-4083. And while your specific needs may vary depending on your medical condition, be sure to bring a week's supply of your regular medications and medical supplies in their original containers with clearly labeled instructions. Any over-the-counter medications you take regularly, a backup list of medications and instructions, a cooler bag for any medications that you may need to be kept cold with you at your cot. If you rely on medical equipment such as glucose monitors, oxygen concentrators, or nebulizers, bring them with you. Oxygen will be available for you on site. More information can be found at hernando.flhealth.gov, or social media can be found at Healthy Hernando.
Thank you, Director Taylor. Appreciate that. Again, our major concerns is the wind and the storm surge. That is at a significant threat to the communities of Arapaika, Hernando Beach, and Pine Island. To speak a little bit more about that, I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Brian Hawkins.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Brian Hawkins, County Commissioner, District 2. The majority of the mandatory evacuations are in that zone. If you're in low-lying areas in zones A, B, and C, which is west of US 19, there is a mandatory evacuation in effect. Right now, you are able to come back and forth freely as long as you show identification. One of the things that are going to happen is the weather starts to change this afternoon and this evening. That will change. When it becomes unsafe for us to navigate or send out emergency vehicles, if you have not evacuated at that time, you will be on your own. So it's important to heed the warnings and get out as soon as you can. I was able to visit a couple sandbag location sites today, one at Linda Pedersen Park and the other one at Anderson Snow. I believe that they're open till 4 p.m. this afternoon or until they run out of supplies. They had a good, healthy supply of sand still available. A lot of people out there utilizing that. So everybody stay safe, heed the warnings, and if you have not evacuated, please make a plan and get out of there. This is 6 to 9 foot of potential storm surge. That's going past Shoreline Boulevard even into the preserve or further. So that's a lot of water that we're looking to potentially have out there at Hernando Beach. Everybody stay safe. God bless.
Thank you, Commissioner. Again, there's a number of different resources that we have. Behind me, we have our emergency support functions. We have 20 of those. They all work collaboratively together to make this disaster. Emergency protective measures before, during, and after. Our recovery efforts are already in place and plans are in place. But I'd like to turn it over to our Chairman of the Board, John Alacco, to say a few words. Chairman?
Thank you. John Alacco, Johnallocco. I'm going to reiterate what you've already heard. Evacuate, okay? The storm surge is serious. Don't take this lightly. Even if you live in a stilt home, understand that there will be things that float in that storm surge that could very likely topple your home. Life is irreplaceable, okay? You can replace things. And we have a fantastic first responders here in Hernando County and all along our coastline. Those first responders have families too, and they would like to be able to come home to their families. So please don't take unnecessary risks. This is all about saving lives right now. As soon as you're able to, if you live west of US 19, please evacuate. Please take the important things that you need, your supplies, your driver's license, anything that's important for identification and your medications. But understand it's not worth putting lives at risk, not your lives or the lives of our first responders. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it. So again, to emphasize, we are looking at 6 to 9 feet of storm surge above ground level. That is catastrophic. That is life-threatening. Please heed these warnings. We have shelters open now. 4 shelters, they're open. We have mandatory evacuations in place. Once again, I need to reiterate, emergency response will stop once tropical storm force winds start coming into Hernando County. When is that? I don't really know. It's late evening according to National Weather Service. So it depends a lot on the forward motion of the storm, how it grows, the intensity, the forward impact. So a lot of it is unknown. So please, if you have to evacuate, do so now. You still have some time to do that. If you need transportation to a shelter, we can make that arrangements. Our Citizens Information Line is open. Please call 352-754-4083 for storm-related questions. If you need information on where the shelters are located, sandbag locations, how long the shelters are open, if you need transportation to that shelter, we can make those arrangements. But please call now. Please do not call 911 for storm-related questions. 911 must be kept open for emergency service calls only. So we have our Citizens Information Lines open. Operators are standing by, waiting to answer your questions. Again, we're talking about tropical storm force wind, hurricane force winds, 30 to 40 miles per hour, gusts up to 80 miles per hour. That's going to be sustained pretty much all night into late, maybe tomorrow afternoon. So this is a long duration event once it does hit. Again, there's still a possibility of storm surge once the eye of the storm does make landfall. It is forecasted now to make landfall either at Cedar Key or north, but that can still change. Our next brief is at 7 p.m. from the National Weather Service. So I'll open it up to any questions.
How long will you be receiving citizens in the shelters? I mean, there's people that take risks coming under the storm, trying to get there. Will you be receiving them?
We'll receive them as long as it's safe for the roads to be open. Yes.
Off of memory for you, what is another storm that gives you guys the same impact as we could see?
We kind of don't like comparing storms, but every storm has its own nuances. But for comparison, for your question, in 2016 we had Hurricane Hermine that skirted the coastline. This is kind of very similar track. The eye of the storm is going to be about 80 miles off our coast, so it's it's going to be severe. It's going to be about 3 to 4 feet above what we experienced in 2016. So if your house flooded in 2016 in the Hernando Beach, Pine Island, Arapahoe area, there's a good possibility it'll flood again. If you did not flood, it's a good possibility it will flood now, because it is about 3 feet above what we experienced in 2016. Again, this is going to be catastrophic, life-threatening storm surge. Please heed our evacuation notices. Prep your family, your friends. Make a plan. If you plan to evacuate, please tell family and friends that live out of state where they know, so they know where you're going, so they can contact you. Have a go kit ready. Have all your personal stuff together. Stay informed. We have our social media pages that'll be updated throughout the day. We have these press conferences, press releases that are coming out. You can follow, go to our emergency management page, hernandocounty.us/EM. We'll have a lot of information posted there. And again, if you have any storm-related questions, please call our Citizens Information Line at 352-754-4083.
You talked a little bit about people utilizing the shelters already. Can you give me an approximate of like what shelters look like for capacity right now?
We have plenty of capacity at this point in time. As of about 12:30, we had about 59 people in shelters amongst the 4 shelters that we have, and we have about 36 pets. So if you have a pet, please bring all necessary equipment to take care of your pet. That is still going to be your responsibility. So bring everything you need: food, dog bowl, leash, whatever, for your cats, litter, the whole 9 yards. So the pet is going to be your responsibility, but we will help give you refuge for that.
What time do you expect the storm to start, or the weather to start deteriorating here?
As we continually progress into the evening, it's going to deteriorate. Obviously, the upper bands are going to start arriving much sooner. Again, it's going to be probably mid-morning or very early, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., possibly, before it even makes landfall. And then it's going to continue on for a very long time. Those outer bands, this is a very large storm. It is about close to 280 miles wide, north to south. The eastern part of the eye wall is much bigger than the west side. So as it moves through the state of Florida, those outer rain bands are going to continue to push through Tampa Bay, Pasco, Hernando, Citrus, Levy, and that storm surge is going to continue on coming.
Any concerns for tornadoes or anything along those lines here, or is it just storm surge?
No, tornadoes has an elevated risk now, Tuesday into Wednesday. So that's always a concern. Any other questions? Again, please take heed of the evacuation notice. Again, this is a major Cat 3 hurricane, possibly getting to a very strong Cat 3, possibly a Cat 4. It all depends on how long it stays out there, forward motion, how long it stays in those warm Gulf waters. The Gulf waters are 1 to 2 degrees warmer than normal, so it's just churning and burning right now. So please take heed. This is catastrophic, life-threatening storm surge that we could possibly experience here in Hernando County. We'll send out a next press brief to you guys through a media release. I appreciate everybody coming today. Have a wonderful and safe afternoon.